Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. The Manchester United board have made no decision over the future of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As of this moment, he will still be in charge for the game against Watford. Now it recently said that Manchester United reportedly made a final decision on the future of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Said Man United are now committed to stand by Solskjaer until the end of the season. Fabrizio Romano said earlier on today, like I updated you, that Manchester United want to continue with Solskjaer for as long as possible, with the view to assess the situation in the summer. Duncan Castle said over the weekend that senior stars want Solskjaer sacked. Reports said last week, like I updated you, that Solskjaer was waiting to be sacked after leaving Manchester. Last Monday, Solskjaer flew back home to Norway with his family. So, as things stand at the moment, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. Solskjaer's losing the players, he's also losing the fans' support. Solskjaer should have been sacked after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool, because if we'd have sacked him after that game, I can assure that Manchester United would have got Antonio Conte. And after the Liverpool game, it said Solskjaer had been given 3 games to save his job. He only won 1 of them 3 games. But Solskjaer is under pressure. He's aware of that. You know, Manchester United have had back-to-back home defeats to City and Liverpool, and Man United have only won 1 of their last 6 Premier League games, and Man United are currently sitting 6th in the Premier League at the moment. Manchester United have to pay Solskjaer $7.5 million if they decide to sack him, because in the summer he signed a new 3-year contract with an option of a further year, and Manchester United made a mistake giving him that contract, and a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Now, there's been quite a lot of managers on our agenda. Now, I've been talking with you a lot about Zinedine Zidane today. Obviously, talks have been ongoing between Manchester United and Zinedine Zidane, but the deal is difficult because his preference right now is to coach the French team. But Man United hope Zidane's close relationships with Ronaldo and Varane could persuade him to join. Obviously, Ronaldo wants Zinedine Zidane at Manchester United in 2022. Ronaldo knows Zidane very well because obviously Ronaldo played under Zidane when he was at Real Madrid. Reports did say, though, not so long ago, that Zidane wasn't interested in the Manchester United job. There again, reports from Spain did say that Zidane rejected the Newcastle job as he is waiting for the Man United or France job. You know, Zidane's available. He left Real Madrid in the summer. And you've got to admire what he did at Real Madrid. He won a lot of trophies at Real Madrid, so reflecting on that, he's got a very good pedigree behind him. Zidane's actually never managed in the Premier League, so it would be good for him to come and experience the Premier League. And I'm convinced if he comes to the Premier League, he'll replicate what he did at Real Madrid. But I reckon that Zidane would be the man for Man United. You know, if Zidane came to Manchester United, I think he would get the best out of these group of players. He'd suit the strappings of the club and he would be capable of winning trophies. Obviously, Zidane is a far superior manager to Solskjaer. And certainly my preference would be Zidane over Brendan Rodgers. I've been talking with you, haven't I, a lot about Brendan Rodgers recently. It said yesterday, like I updated you, that Brendan Rodgers is more likely to become the new Man United manager than Zidane. Recently, Brendan Rodgers was house hunting in Cheshire. Brendan Rodgers is the favourite to replace Solskjaer at Manchester United. Manchester Evening News said not so long ago, like it updated you, that Man United are ready to trigger Brendan Rodgers' contract clause if Solskjaer gets sacked. And apparently Rodgers has already verbally agreed to become Manchester United's new manager, but his preference would be to wait until next season. Because obviously Rodgers is reluctant to leave Leicester midway through the season. But yeah, Man United are confident that Brendan Rodgers will be the next manager. You've got to admire what Brendan Rodgers has done at Leicester. So far at Leicester, he's won the Community Shield in the FA Cup. He's got a contract with Leicester till 2025 and he's been Leicester manager for almost 3 years now. Pochettino, there's still rumours coming out about him. Pochettino is considering returning to the Premier League on his next job. Pochettino has a full season left on his PSG contract. Ralph Rangnick, you know, there's been a lot of rumours about him. Fabrizio Romano recently gave us an update on Ralph Rangnick and he said Manchester United turned down Ralph Rangnick. There was rumours of Ralph Rangnick possibly becoming the interim manager until the end of the season, and there's been rumours about Erik ten Hag. I think there's a lot of United fans that would like to see him come in. You've got to admire what Erik ten Hag has done at Ajax. You know, he's won a few trophies with them and he's been Ajax manager for 4 years. Revert back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, if he does get sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson. Man United have already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. We sacked Moyes after 10 months, sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years despite him winning the FA Cup, and we sacked Mourinho after 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy 1 good season at Man United because he did win 3 trophies in his first season. Manchester United, though, have not been the same team since Ferguson retired. Obviously, a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. No one will replicate what Ferguson did at the club. You know, Ferguson brought success to Manchester United because he won 30-odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. But Fergie didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. So that just tells you that it takes some managers time to settle in. You know, Ferguson enjoyed a 27-year managerial tenure at Man United, so he was a very long-serving manager. Manchester United's success definitely came under Ferguson. You know, if Ferguson had got sacked in that 4 years where he didn't win anything, we wouldn't have had any success now, because before Ferguson we weren't that good. You know, we weren't that good under Ron Atkinson, we weren't good under Wilf McGuinness, and we certainly weren't good under Frank O'Farrell. We got relegated under him back in 1974. That's 40 odd years ago now. But in regards to Solskjaer, we all adore him, reflecting on what he's done for the club. At the end of the day, Ollie's a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. Ollie won a lot of trophies as a player for Man United, so reflecting on that, he had a very good pedigree as a player, but unfortunately, he hasn't got a pedigree as a manager, and that is a big concern. Before Manchester United, Ollie was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles with them, but they're not a big club. And before Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was terrible. He got sacked from Cardiff. He got sacked from Cardiff because he got Cardiff relegated. He only enjoyed a short tenure with them. But Solskjaer's been given long enough at Manchester United now. He's been Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. Yes, I'm surprised he's still Man United manager, but the reason he's still Manchester United manager is because he's a legend of the club. You know, disregarding him being a legend of the club, I can assure he would have been sacked a while ago. Obviously, Solskjaer is accountable for some of our poor performances, because obviously Solskjaer's tactics and his team selections and that have been questioned, but revert back to what I've said before, not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. Reflecting on our poor performances, there's also players that have to take responsibility for those poor performances as well. But I just feel as though that the expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager, and Ollie's in a position that he shouldn't be in, and I think he's lowered the standards at the club as manager. I hate to say this regarding Ollie, but I'm just being realistic, and a lot of United fans will agree with me on what I've just said. Of course, we all wanted Solskjaer to succeed as Man United manager, but obviously he's not going to. I said a while ago he's not the long-term manager for Man United. This season is Solskjaer's third full season as Man United manager, and I did say at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for him. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job. Not only a massive job, a difficult job as well. Despite him knowing the club through thick and thin, you know, all he's managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. Yes, Solskjaer is inheriting players who other managers have brought in. You know, there's still Matty from the Moyes era he's inheriting. There's some players here from the Louis van Gaal era still who he's inheriting. And there's also some players here from the Mourinho era he's inheriting. There's only 2 here now from the Ferguson era he's inheriting. That's Jones and De Gea. Ollie got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. But at this moment in time, the club from top to bottom is in a predicament. And like I've said, the way we get out of this predicament is a change of manager, and structural changes are also needed at the club as well. Solskjaer ran out of excuses a long time ago, because Man United have got a very good squad. Plus, we enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year, made 4 signings, spent £141 million. 3 of the signings out of the 4 we made were major signings as well. Plus, the board backed Solskjaer, and they're still backing him now. You know, the Glazers are backing him, Ed Woodward's backing him, John Murtaugh, our director of football's backed him, and Darren Fletcher has backed him. You know, Ollie's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager. And Man United have spent over £400 million under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. So there you go. But Manchester United have got very good players. The reason we're not getting the best out of a lot of the players is because we're a team of individuals. Like a lot of pundits have spoke about, we don't actually play as a team. If we played as a team, we'd be in a much better position than we're in now. But look who we've got. We've got Rashford. He's a very good player. Rashford's done well in quite a few games since he's come back, but he's also had some poor games as well. One point Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while, and at one point he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Most of the time now Rashford plays on the left wing. We need to keep him there because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. And Rashford's been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. So he's been in our senior squad for a good 5.5 years now, and he's got a contract with Man United till 2023. And we've got Edison Cavani, another good player. Cavani, hold-up play is good. His movement in and around the box is good. He creates very good chances and he scores very good goals. This season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. We did get Cavani on a free transfer from PSG. Cavani's out with injury at the moment until December. He was out with injury earlier on this season. Cavani has now got under a year left on his contract at Man United. It was back in May he signed that 1-year contract extension. And we've also got Mason Greenwood, who's a talented player. Greenwood has got a long-term future at Man United, I can assure that. Greenwood's still young, he's got a lot of development in him. Greenwood has scored 4 goals in the league so far this season. He scored a stunning goal in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. At one point though, Greenwood did go a while without scoring, but despite that, Greenwood's been a revelation since he broke into our senior squad. He made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time, and last season he signed a new 4-year contract with the club. You've got Jadon Sancho. That's a good player overall, but Sancho's been very poor for Manchester United so far. And reflecting on his poor performances, our fans have been getting on his back. But I think Solskjaer is to blame for Sancho's poor performances, because when Ole decides to play Sancho, he persistently plays him out of position. And I said Sancho will do well at Man United, providing that is used correctly. It does take some players time to settle in. But there's been quite a few games that Sancho hasn't even played in. So reflecting on that, does he have a future at the club? Man United got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included, and he's got a contract to Man United till June 2026 as an option of a further year. Sancho did enjoy 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund, and I was hoping he could replicate at Man United what he did in his 4 years at Dortmund, but so far he's failed to replicate what he did in his 4 years with Dortmund. You've got Bruno Fernandes, that's a world-class player. Yes, he's had his bad games at Man United, but still a world-class player. Fernandes has been consistent in a lot of games for Man United. Well, Fernandes starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games, doesn't he? Gotta say, Fernandes was very, very, very poor against Man City. Fernandes though, since he's come to Man United, he's scored a lot of goals and he's provided a lot of assists, and he's provided a lot of assists this season so far. He's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes has been at Manchester United for almost 2 years now. We got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. And of course, last season he won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Earlier on this season, Fernandes did make it clear that he wants to stay at Manchester United, but when Fernandes came to Man United, he said, I've come to Manchester to win trophies. Fernandes has got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. And obviously we've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Not so long ago, Ronaldo got named Player of the Month for October. So that's back-to-back awards now, because back in September, Ronaldo got named Premier League Player of the Month. Yeah, Ronaldo has done well since he's re-signed. He's scored 9 goals in all competitions. But Man United are relying on Ronaldo too much. Ronaldo saved Solskjaer in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta because Ronaldo netted twice in stoppage time at the end of both halves. Ronaldo scored the winner in the reverse fixture against Atalanta at Old Trafford. He scored the winner against Villarreal earlier on this season. So there you go. Ronaldo's obviously angry of what's going on at Manchester United at the moment. He's even mocked Solskjaer's tactics. He did that in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. If Ollie remains at Manchester United, I can't see Ronaldo seeing out his contract. Ronaldo's got a contract with Man United till 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at the club at the moment. And Ronaldo obviously wears that number 7 shirt, and we got him for 19.8 million with add-ons included. Ronaldo's obviously won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. We've also got Paul Pogba. That's a very, very good player as well. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player. Pogba has got 1 game to serve now in the league out of the 3-match ban he got. Pogba got sent off, didn't he, in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. As you all know, Pogba is out for around 2 months because last Monday Pogba suffered a thigh injury in France training. Pogba may never play for Manchester United again. Man United are actually prepared to sell Paul Pogba in the January transfer window. Well, it makes sense to sell him in the January transfer window and cash in for him rather than let him go on a free transfer next summer. There again though, reports from France said not so long ago that Pogba wants to renew his contract with Man United, but reportedly on one condition, that he's made the Premier League's highest paid player. So Pogba wants to overtake Ronaldo as the highest paid player. Well, Pogba's one of the highest paid players at the club as it stands because he receives around 290 grand a week on his current contract. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer, and as you all know, before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Bloody burningness in my throat. Pogba, as you all know, has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him. His former club Juventus have been in for him. Barcelona have been in for him. And before, Inter Milan have been in for him. Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, he's been working hard for a while now to get his client to move away from the football club. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him, and this season is his 6th season at the club. since he rejoined, and Pogba's won 3 trophies at Manchester United so far. We had him when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. You know, Van der Beek's a good player as well, but like I've said, haven't really had much of a perception on him at Man United because he hasn't been given enough game time. Van der Beek's going in January, the player has confirmed that. You know, we've got Luke Shaw, that's a very good left back as well, but Luke Shaw has certainly not proven how good he can be this season because Luke Shaw's been absolutely abysmal this season. You know, where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season, Luke Shaw was absolutely superb. He was far superior last season to how he has been this season so far. The best game I think Luke Shaw's had this season was the 3-0 win against Tottenham, even though he got booked in that game. Shaw was very poor in the 2-0 defeat to Man City. You know, he was the main culprit for City's second goal from Bernardo Silva, and plus, Shaw came off with injury against Man City. He came off with a concussion and he had to be replaced by Alex Telles. He's injury prone, this Shaw, which is a concern. I think he's had a good career though at Man United. He's been at Manchester United for 7.5 years now. And he's been our first choice left back for a while. Stu remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Telles. You know, we've got Wan-Bissaka, that's also a good right back as well. You know, the defensive side of his game's absolutely superb. It really is. But on the other side of things, the attacking side of his game is not so good. And there's aspects of Wan-Bissaka's game that's got to improve. He's got to show a lot more attacking intent. His crossing's got to improve a bit more. His positioning certainly needs to improve. You know, Bissaka's had his good games this season. He's also had his bad games. He was poor against City, but it was a shame because he was in scintillating form before the City game. We got Bissaka for 50 million from Palace back in the summer of 2019. This season is Wan-Bissaka's third full season at Man United. One of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. And you've got Eric Bailly, that's a very, very good centre half as well. But Bailly obviously doesn't get regular game time, does he? He lost his place in the team a while ago, obviously with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and for some reason Ollie prefers Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly. Bailly's made 3 appearances so far this season. Got to say he was abysmal against Man City. You know, City's first goal came from an own goal by Bailly. Wasn't only the own goal though, his overall performance was just poor. And I was shocked in that aspect because Bailly put a very good performance out in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. He made some good interventions and some good blocks. And he played well against West Ham in the Cup earlier on in the season. Concern about Bailly is injury prone. Towards the end of last season he signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year, and Bailly's been at the club now for like 5.5 years. Got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for 30 million. You know, you've got Varane, that's also a very good centre half as well. He's done well in quite a few games for Man United since he's come, but he's had a couple of poor games as well. Varane's already endured 2 injuries since he became a Man United player. He's now out with a hamstring injury for around a month. He came off in the first half in the game against Atalanta. He had to be replaced by Greenwood. Obviously then Solskjaer had to change to a back 4. Not so long ago, he was out with a groin injury for a few weeks, and he initially made his return in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. Maguire, I think he's a decent centre-half overall, but he's had a lot of bad games for Man United, and I think he's been very, very poor this season, and Maguire's been even worse since he came back from that calf injury. Maguire only seems to do well when he's alongside Varane. You know, Varane and Maguire do complement each other very well in our back line, but when Maguire's alongside Bailly or Lindelof, or both of them, you can't get the best out of him. You know, we overpaid for Harry Maguire, got him in a deal worth 80 million, so he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and the second most expensive signing at the club. And you've obviously got De Gea, that's a very, very good goalkeeper as well. De Gea's done really, really well so far this season. You've got to give De Gea a lot of credit. He did well in the City game. You know, I recall him making 4 fantastic saves in that first half. There again, though, he was partly to blame for City's second goal by Bernardo Silva, but like I said, Luke Shaw was to blame more. But this season so far, De Gea has made up for the mistakes he made in the last couple of years. Don't forget De Gea reclaimed that #1 spot back. You know, this season is De Gea's 11th season at Man United. He's been a long servant. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. He's won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. De Gea has under 2 years left on his current contract, and he receives £375,000 a week. So there you go. So there is very, very good players at Man United. Man United must have spent over £1 billion since Ferguson retired. There is quite a few players though that don't even get in the team. Like I said, you know, Bailly doesn't really get in the team. Tellez doesn't really get in the team. Tellez will only play when Shaw's not available. Dalot doesn't really get in the team. He'll only play when Wan-Bissaka's not available. Dalot is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. Dean Henderson, you know, he's another one that doesn't get in goal now because, like I said, De Gea reclaimed that #1 spot back. I think Henderson wants to go out on loan next year. You know, Van der Beek doesn't really get in the team. Surprisingly enough, Matic is ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. Juan Mata obviously doesn't get in the team. Martial, he's another one that doesn't get in the team. Lingard doesn't get in the team. Mad Diallo doesn't get in the team either. He's made a few first team appearances, and at that point I did say that Amad Diallo looked a good asset for the first team squad. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon, and my channel name is Red Devil 24.